Tell me there was a new head of homicide.
Either of you has any information about this case, you need to bring it to me.
You need to tell that detective what you know.
Somebody tried to get rid of those fingerprints. Detective Price thinks it was your father.
You're still trying to protect your friend.
This isn't gonna go the way you expect.
I'll take my chances.
Hi, my name is Gil Robertson, president of the African American Film Critics Association. And today we have a real treat, one of our all-time favorites, Holly Robinson Peete, talking about her starring role in the Hallmark murder mysteries. We're going to kick things off by introducing you to the AAFCA members who are on our call today, beginning with our facilitator, Katia Woods in Philadelphia, Aisha Muhammad in Philadelphia too, right, Aisha? Carolyn Hines, north of the border in Toronto, Sharonda Williams in Atlanta, and you know I'm nervous about this, Karan Lenoir. Was that better?
That was Lenoir.
Lenoir. Okay, we're getting close. Without further ado, I'm going to let you ladies do what you do so well. I'll see you on the other side.
Hi, how are you doing today? Sharonda Williams from Pair Wait. I need to talk about Billy because Billy's had to up her game in this new installment of the Morning Show Mysteries. And I really wanted to ask you as an actress, how rewarding has it been actually playing a character that actually continues to evolve and really showcase the never-ending changes that women face day to day in career and both personal life?
Oh, I absolutely love playing Billy Blessings because she is very aspirational. She's inspirational. She's does so many things. She's a multi-hyphenate. She's a chef. She owns restaurants. She's on a morning show. And the only little area that she struggles in is love, which so many of us do every now and then. But I love that she just does a lot of things. And you know, the other thing I love about this part is that, and someone pointed out to me as I was doing some of this press this week, that there really aren't any other African-American female crime solvers. So, and I had to think about that. I said, wait, really? Because I know they're detectives. I played one on 21 Jump Street many moons ago. And there are police women and coroners and judges and all of that, but there's never really been like the sort of murder she wrote, Nancy Drew version of us. So I love that she's aspirational. I love that she gets to do so many things. And it is really cool to be the lead of a movie franchise where each movie shows a different color or side of her. So that is something that I am very pleased with this part.
Hi, Aisha Muhammad, Black People Watch. One of my questions were, how much do you enjoy solving murder mysteries, and what connected you mostly to this role?
I really do enjoy solving the mysteries because when I get the scripts, I read them and try to figure it out along the way, because then I know what the journey the audience is going to go on. And what I've discovered is I have a really pretty amazing admiration that I didn't realize I should have had for mystery writers. Because when you're taking someone on that journey and you're trying to make them think one thing, but then it's another, I mean, there's a whole art to doing that. These movies were originally adapted from books written by Al Roker, his Morning Show Murders. And, you know, just talking to him and talking to other script writers, when you learn sort of how they dupe you in some ways and make someone look suspicious and then pull that off of them, it's pretty fascinating. So when we're shooting these, the challenge is, because we don't shoot them in order, to sort of put your mind in a frame of, okay, every day we get to set, we go, okay, let's walk through where we are in the story right now. Because what you don't want to do is make a face or give a look or something that it doesn't go with what's happening sequentially. So all that is to say, I really do enjoy doing these mysteries and figuring out how to solve them is fun because it's interactive and you can do it with the audience.
Hi, Carolyn. First, here's what happened, and Carolyn talks. So my question has a bit to do with Billy's relationship with the people around her, particularly her co-workers and her Aunt Cassandra. And I found it interesting where, like, she has these two ladies at home, we know who she is, and she has her Aunt Cassandra, who's like the person that's always like you can do this and you know what you're capable of. But then she's the one who also reveals these little things to Billy that she may not have noticed. Whereas at work for Billy, she has to maintain his professionalism. And then we saw in Murder Ever After, there's someone who knew who's introduced that basically brings out a side of her that she never even thought of. So could you just tell me a little bit about discovering these new facets of Billy throughout the series, especially with this new show, because we get to see her do something that she herself didn't know she could do.
Yes, absolutely. Great question. I love the fact that there are new characters because that brings out different shades of my character. You know, getting to know Billy was something that I had to do, right? Learning who she was from movie 1 through 5. And then when 6 came along, the energy changed and the shift changes. You're so right. There are several different facets of Billy, just like there's several different facets of all of us. When we're at work, we're one way, and when we're at home, we're another way. The character that I think that really is the heart and soul of these movies is the Aunt Cassandra character played by Karen Robinson. She's just like a soft place to land for me as a character and as a person. She's just a tremendous actress, Canadian actress, professionally trained. She can do Shakespeare. She's so amazing. And I really enjoy working with her. And she is that auntie that we all need and probably all have had at one point, who keeps it real, tells it like it is, and makes sure, you know, was always trying to protect Billy. And of course is trying to matchmake her with anybody. She's always trying to hook her up. Yeah, so the dynamic is different as Billy interfaces. And I think it's very interesting that you notice that, because I noticed that in the script too, because when she is at work, she has to have a professionalism, and the minute she's off, she changes her personality. And for me, it makes it very fun to play because it's not sort of this one tone, you know, monochromatic character, and I can do a lot of different things. But I also really like the diversity that we have. One of the things that I was really excited about was being part of the casting and being a number one actor on the call sheet. I like that. That's awesome. But what's happening at 2, 3, 4, and 5? So keeping those as diverse as possible is something that I really have my eyes on.
Hi, Holly, Katya Woods, Couple Soul Show out of Philadelphia.
Hey, Philly.
You have a lot of ties to our city.
I do.
One of the things that I do love about this show is that you just get to play a character. We don't talk about your color. We know you're Black, but it's not like she is the Black sleuth, she is the Black morning show host. Talk about what it's like to do that, because as I'm sure as an actress, as a Black actress, you don't often just get to be and play a character. It's the same thing with your relationship with your aunt on the show. Talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, so all the way back to 21 Jump Street, I got to play a colorless, if you will, character. I don't particularly care for that term, but there was the intersectionality between being a Black young cop and you know, being with all men on this show, 21 Jump Street. And what was so great about Judy Hoffs was that she was just sort of every girl. Like, she was the girl next door. Everybody could relate to her. And you didn't necessarily see her as, oh, she's the Black. But there were some storylines where I would poke at them and say, okay, she's got to stand up and say, as a Black woman, I'm not okay with this. And they kind of got that towards the later years. But jumping, girl, 34 years to Billy Blessings, whew, I realized that, yeah, she does kind of transcend color, but it's very important, and especially on Hallmark Channel, that I make sure that she does embrace her Blackness in a way. And so while you can watch it and it's not necessarily, oh, she's a Black woman on the morning show, or she's a Black restaurateur, you see that. And then there are little moments in the script that I make sure get there. Perfect example is not so much in this movie, but in one of the Christmas movies I did last year, 3 of the characters were Black women in the 5, you know, on the call sheet. And we were talking about college, and I said, we should all have gone to an HBCU. Now, I don't think that they have ever mentioned an HBCU on Hallmark Channel. So when I mentioned that, they kind of all looked at me funky, but I pushed for it and got it, and then got so much feedback. Like, you mentioned my college on this, you don't know, I felt seen in that moment. And so I deliberately go out of my way to try to make sure that those moments of Black femaleness are acknowledged. So while I love being able to play this character that sort of, transcends it, it's also important to recognize that, yep, we're here and we doing it.
Hi, Holly. It's Karan from Karanism.com. It's such a pleasure to speak with you today. And I love these mysteries because it shows Billy as a woman who is so accomplished. She's beautiful, she is strong, but she is also kind. She's extremely soft and she is nice all the time. The whole family can enjoy it. But do you actually know anybody who is this nice all the time?
I actually do, Karan. I know some people who are this nice all the time. And so it's funny that you said that, because when I was really researching this character, I have a friend who is so nice. Like, she's just the nice girl, right? And we just worry about her because she's so nice. And we just worry about her being taken advantage of in this cruel, cold-blooded world. But yes, I do know people. And yes, you're right. Billy is very nice. This is, these mysteries are about, being nice and being kind. And they're also about being strong, but, they're definitely family friendly. So we keep the protagonist likable and fun, but serious when they have to be. But she's definitely very nice. Maybe even sometimes to a fault. but I enjoy playing a nice character because I don't think Holly is as nice as Billy is. So it's fun playing it. And also I love playing that she's single and childless, because I haven't been that in a very long time. That's extra fun to play.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Hello again. I wanted to ask you about how you've played this character for so many different installments of, the morning show mysteries. And I wanted to know, how has that changed you as an actress, or how is just the personality of Billy, how has it changed you as a person as well?
I think it's fun to explore the different layers of who Billy is. And with each episode, with each movie, the scenario changes, and then I see another layer to her. And so she is a lot of different women. But there's a consistency, and I think it with Karan that said it. It's a niceness, it's an approachability. One of the reasons why she's such a good sleuther, because why she's such a good crime solver, is because people open up to her and talk to her because they trust her, right? And so she's like the, girl next door, and so they'll tell her their deepest, darkest secrets or slip up and say something. But I think, I've been able to discover more layers in her character as these movies have gone along. This particular episode, though, I definitely discovered more than I thought I would. I don't know if it's because Colin Lawrence is on as my quote unquote love interest. We'll see where that goes. Or because there's two other new characters, but those new characters bring different energy to the set. And so that's one of the ways that I can, I find more flavors and colors in Billy Blessing's character.
I don't know if it's just great acting, but everybody just brings so much life to their characters. There's so much fun. They're so funny. How much is, just really acting, and how much do you all really just get along in real life? Because it seems like a great environment.
Well, first of all, Canadians are just nice people, and they're all Canadian. I'm not saying that we're not nice, but they're just extra nice. Right. And so they're so courteous, so sweet on set, and they bring out the nice in me. Because like I said, sometimes Holly is nice challenged. And so going to work with them every day, because these are really long hours in a short amount of time we shoot these movies. And especially these last couple movies, because we've been quarantined. I had to quarantine 2 weeks, and I mean real quarantine, not that self-imposed where you can't leave your property for 2 weeks, and they're watching, the government's watching, Canadian government, and they're making sure. And so they're just a great group of people in general. And when I go to work, there are a couple of them that just make me laugh, and so, but I will say this, when you're the number one on the call sheet, you set the tone. And so I will give myself some self-love and some self-props that when I get to work, I set the tone. If I roll in there with some funkiness from the day before or something that happened, that's going to be the tone of the set. And so I really try to set the intention every day before I go into that set to like, okay, Holly, they're watching you. And for the next Black female number one, you're not going to come in here being trifling. You're going to be kind and sweet to everybody. That's really intentional because there's just some days where you're just tired. And, I'm not, I'm not young anymore. So it's like I get in there and I'm like tired and exhausted. And I'm like, okay, pep up. And they all come to work ready and prepared. So I definitely like to set the tone like that. But you have to have fun on set. If you're not laughing and having a fun vibe and making fun of each other and giggling and stuff, then it's going to be hard to get through these very, very long, sometimes, 17, 18-hour days.
Well, that energy definitely comes through the camera. Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you.
Hi, Holly. So my second question has to do with your research. So like you would have researched, I'm guessing shows like Murder, She Wrote, and then like you mentioned like Nancy Drew. And in the 90s, we have stories like by the Hardy Boys, the Goosebumps series, and even like if you're gonna go across the pond to like Inspector Poirot and those kind of roles. Was there any character in particular that influenced you in your research, but then going throughout the years from 2017 to now, one that has stuck with you that you really gravitated towards?
And all of the characters that you mentioned, there's no characters of color, right? So I didn't really have anybody to look and go, oh, I can do that too. But I will say I did watch a lot of Murder, She Wrote. I love me some Angela Lansbury, and those shows it was really the construction of the shows that I was interested in, how they break them down and how they break down these mystery stories. But I also read a lot of murder mysteries. It was a good excuse for me to read more. And I wanted to read a lot of murder mysteries. And I wanted to read some scripts of movies, murder mystery movies that I really liked, that helped me understand the way it is constructed. Because when you know that and you're on set and you are sort of, in every scene, you have a better concept of how the flow goes on set day to day, because you don't shoot in order. And that's always sometimes a challenge in any movie, but it's in a murder mystery where the plot is opening and there's peaks and valleys. That's really key. So my research was mainly done through studying the genre and scripts and books more than actual shows, because there were no shows that I really connected and really related to, except Murder, She Wrote. That was a great show.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, like as I was listed them off, I just saying, wait, these are all white people.
All of them. And that was one of the things that that didn't hit me until this press tour on the 6th movie. I think it was someone that says, we don't think there's ever been any other crime solver. And the thing about these movies, these mystery wheels, is that these are all women who are all smart and, career driven, inquisitive, clever, and all of that. And they use their skills to crime solve, but they're not, they're not cops, they're just women who have a penchant for crime solving. And solving mysteries. So it just didn't even hit me until recently that there really aren't very many who look like me at all in this space.
Yeah, I guess it just goes to show how ingrained this is into like the industry and even our just like readership, that we don't even notice until like literally in the moment. But again, thank you so much for speaking with us today.
You got it. Thank you.
So one of the things that your character is known for, she has great culinary skills, and it's probably also a way that she gets people to open up. So has that rubbed off on you, or was that already something where you're like, you know what, this is where we can connect? Food, I like cooking.
I love food, and I'm okay at cooking. Billy she can cook, fry, bake, do everything. I cannot do all that. That said, when we were locked down last April, May, June, I feel like I baked a cake every day. I baked a lemon cake, and this cake that everyone was baking on TikTok and all over Instagram, where you cut it open and the sparkles jump out. Did y'all see that cake? And it's like 7 layers, and I think I got it from like Williams Sonoma or something, and it's called the explosion cake or something. I must have made 4 or 5 of those and baked my way through the first 3 months of that. And then like after that, then went through 3 months of like juice cleansing and fasting and doing all that stuff. But I think I got pretty good at that. I could never be at a level of Billy. I just don't have the patience, and I don't like to measure. I don't like to measure stuff. I just like my aunt used to just throw in a little of this and a little of that. And so if you don't have that sort of sixth sense about just having to follow a recipe, then that usually means that's not really something in your lane. But I do like to bake, and I think I'm okay at it, but not great. I did learn how to make something that I had never made before, which was shrimp and grits. I made it myself, and it was so good. And I feel like I'm really good at it now. It's not rocket science. It doesn't take a lot, but that was one thing that I think I perfected. But all in all, we don't have that in common.
That's the beauty of TV, right? You can live vicariously through her. Thank you.
That's right. Thank you.
Now, Holly, there's a mystery within the mystery, and that is love. So I am curious about the love for Billy, but also for Aunt Cassandra. Where is the love for them both? Because, Aunt Cassandra in her later years, she deserves a little attention too. So can we look forward to seeing some development of love for them both?
I have a vision that one day Aunt Cassandra and Billy will have a double wedding.
Oh, that's nice.
I think that would be so cute. And I definitely agree with you. She needs some love too. She's so busy trying to push Billy to love. Aunt Cassandra needs, and she's just, we did one movie where she had a flirty kind of relationship with somebody. She was hilarious because she was just blushing and giggling and the whole thing. So I would love to see that side of her. And just Karen could do anything. There's not any emotion she can't play. It's just such a dream working with her. So yes, the answer is yes. We will find love for Billy, and we will find love for Aunt Cassandra. And who knows? Maybe there'll be a double wedding.
I love it. Thank you. And the new cast members are very nice to see.
Yeah, they're just easy on the eyes, right? Easy on the eyes.
So easy. Thank you, Holly.
Yes, you're welcome.
Holly, thank you so much for joining us today. On behalf of the world's largest group of Black film critics, we thank you for watching AAFCA Roundtables. Have a great day.
You too. Thank you, everybody.
Absolutely.